The colony on Epsilon Eridani B had been silent for 13 months. Jin stood at the big control panel, staring at the dark screen. No messages from Earth had come in over a year. His tired face showed in the black glass. He sighed and pushed his chair back. "Still nothing?" Minji asked from the doorway. She was thin but strong, and even though she was young, everyone respected her as the head of security. "Not even static," Jin said, running a hand through his gray hair. "Our emergency call is still going out, but—" He didn't need to finish. They both knew what it meant. The colony of New Sol, 3,000 people from Earth, had been left behind. Their main way to talk to Earth had broken during a big solar storm, and the supply ship that should have come 13 months ago never arrived. Minji walked across the room to look at the radar screen. "At least we're alone out here. Nothing dangerous except the occasional broken drone." Jin nodded, but it didn't make him feel better. Epsilon Eridani B was a hard place to live. You could breathe the air, but the soil was poor. There were few animals, and the weather could turn deadly in hours. They had enough supplies to last another year if they were careful, but after that— "The meeting starts in 10 minutes, Minji reminded him. "Tai wants to talk about food rationing again." Jin nodded. Tai, who was in charge of growing food, had been trying to make their supplies last as long as possible. The colony was slowly accepting that Earth had either forgotten them or something terrible had happened back home. As they walked through the middle of the colony, they passed families living their lives. Children playing in the artificial park, workers fixing the air systems, farmers tending the indoor gardens. 3,000 lives, all depending on help from Earth that wasn't coming. "We need to start drilling deeper soon," Jin said as they got close to the meeting room. "If we're going to live here forever, we need better access to metals and minerals." Minji opened her mouth to answer but stopped suddenly, her eyes fixed on something behind Jin. He turned to see what she was looking at and saw the red warning lights flashing above the defense console. "Something's coming," she whispered, already, running back toward the control room. Jin followed, his heart beating fast. The defense screen showed a massive object slowing down as it entered orbit around their planet. His first thought was happiness. Earth had finally sent help. But that hope died as the ship's shape became clear. It matched no known human design. Its hull was black as night, swallowing light instead of reflecting it, with strange shapes sticking out and no visible engines. It was huge, at least 5 times bigger than any Earth ship. "Get everyone to shelter," Jin ordered, keeping his voice steady despite his fear. "Sound the alarm." As the colony sirens began to wail, Minji turned on the defense system, a small collection of guns designed to shoot down meteors, not alien warships. "Do you think they want to hurt us?" she asked. Jin stared at the alien ship now settling into orbit directly above their colony. "I don't know," he answered honestly. "But they've come a very long way just to say hello." The next day the colony was quiet. Most people stayed in their homes afraid of what might happen. Jin called a meeting with all the colony leaders. "What do we know?" he asked, looking around the table at the worried faces. Hana, their scientist who studied alien life, spoke first. "The ship is like nothing we've ever seen. The metal of its hull doesn't match any element we know. It's putting out energy readings that our sensors can barely detect." "Are they hostile?" Tai asked, his farming clothes looking out of place in the meeting room. "They haven't done anything yet," Minji said. "They're just watching." Jun, the communications expert, raised his hand. "I've been sending standard greeting messages on all frequencies, no response." Jin nodded slowly. "Keep trying. In the meantime, we need to prepare for the worst." "Minji, what are our defenses?" Minji's face was grim. "Almost nothing. We have point defense turrets to handle meteors and a few security weapons. Nothing that would even scratch that ship." "What about evacuation?" Jin asked. Doyen, the chief engineer, shook his head. "We have 2 short-range shuttles. They could maybe reach the 4th moon, but not much farther. And they can only hold about 50 people each." The room fell silent as everyone faced the truth. They were trapped. "We need to know what they want," Jin finally said. "Hana, Keep studying them. June, keep trying to talk to them. Everyone else, make sure your departments are ready for anything. As the meeting broke up, Minji stayed behind with Jin. What do you really think? She asked when they were alone. Jin looked out the window at the gray sky. Somewhere up there, the black ship was watching. I think Earth abandoned us, he said quietly, and now something else has found us. 3 days passed with no change. The alien ship stayed in orbit, silent and still. People began to leave their homes again, but everyone kept looking up at the sky. On the morning of the 4th day, Jin was woken by an urgent call from Minji. They're moving, she said, her voice tight with stress. A smaller ship just left the main one. It's coming down. Jin dressed quickly and ran to the control center. The room was already full of people, all watching the main screen. Where will it land? He asked. 2 kilometers east of our walls, Minji said. In the flat area. Jin made a quick decision. I need a small team to go meet them. Minji for security, Hana for science, June for communication. And I'll lead. That's crazy, Tai protested. What if they kill you all? What choice do we have? Jin replied. If they wanted to destroy us, they could have done it already. This might be our only chance to talk to them. 20 minutes later, they drove an electric rover toward the landing site. Jin could see the alien craft coming down through the clouds. It was smaller than the mothership, but still bigger than anything humans had built. It was black and sleek, almost beautiful in a strange way. Everyone stay calm, Jin said as the craft touched down with barely a sound. June, be ready with the translator. Hana, record everything. Minji, I'll protect you, she said, her hand on her weapon. For a long time nothing happened. The alien ship sat on the rocky ground, quiet and dark. Then, without warning, a door opened in its side. Light spilled out so bright it hurt Jin's eyes. Here we go, he whispered, stepping forward to meet whatever came from the stars. A figure appeared in the doorway, tall and thin with skin that seemed to shift colors like oil on water. It had 4 arms and a head that was too large for its body, with huge black eyes that reflected the world like mirrors. Jin took a deep breath and stepped forward. He raised his hand in greeting, hoping the gesture would be understood across the gulf of space. We are humans, he said clearly. We come in peace. The alien tilted its head, studying him. Then it raised all 4 of its arms, and Jin knew, with a cold certainty that settled in his bones, that nothing would ever be the same again. The alien looked at Jin with its big black eyes. No one moved. The air felt heavy with fear and wonder. June stepped forward with his translation device. His hands shook as he turned it on. We welcome you to our world, June said. His voice was steady even though his face was pale. We are humans from the planet Earth. The alien made strange sounds, clicks and whistles that no human throat could make. June's device worked quickly, trying to understand. After a moment, the translator spoke in a flat computer voice. You are isolated. Abandoned. We have watched your signals. Jin felt a chill run down his spine. The aliens had been watching them? For how long? Our contact with Earth was lost, Jin explained. We are a peaceful colony. The alien's skin changed color slightly, shifting from blue to purple. It made more clicking sounds. The translator said, Peace is not important. Your world has things we need. Your technology is useful to us. Minji's hand moved slowly toward her weapon. Jin shook his head slightly. Against creatures that could cross the stars, their small guns would be useless. Maybe we can trade, Jin offered. Share resources and knowledge. No trading, the translator said after the alien spoke again. We have watched your colony since you arrived. Your defenses are weak, your technology is simple. Your home planet does not help you. The alien raised all 4 of its arms. Behind it, the ship began to hum with power. Your colony is now under control of the Dominion. You will give us all technology and resources. If you fight, you will die. Jin felt cold fear in his stomach. After 13 months with no word from Earth, they had finally met alien life, only to find it wanted to enslave or kill them. "How much time do we have to agree?" Jin asked, trying to buy time to think. The alien's mouth moved in what might have been a smile. "Time does not matter. We start taking what we want now." Before Jin could speak again, 6 more aliens walked out of the ship. They carried strange devices that looked like weapons. The lead alien spoke to them in their clicking language. They spread out, pointing their devices at the humans. "Return to your colony," the translator said. "Tell your people to cooperate. We will come tomorrow to begin collection." Jin nodded slowly. "We understand. We will prepare." The alien stared at him for a long moment, as if trying to read his thoughts. Then it turned and walked back into the ship, followed by the others. Jin and his team backed away toward their rover. No one spoke until they were driving back to the colony. "What are we going to do?" Hana asked, her scientist's curiosity now replaced by fear. "They're going to strip our colony," Minji said angrily. "Take everything we've built." Jin drove in, silence, thinking hard. Finally, he said, "First, we tell everyone the truth, then we decide if we fight or cooperate." "Fight?" June looked shocked. "You saw their ship, their weapons. We have no chance." "Maybe not," Jin agreed. "But we need to consider all options." When they returned to the colony, people were waiting. News of the alien landing had spread, and everyone wanted to know what happened. Jin called for a colony-wide meeting in the main dome. 3,000. Worried faces looked up at him as he stood on the stage. The room was so quiet Jin could hear the air systems working. "Today we met aliens called the Dominion," Jin began. "They are not friendly. They want our resources and technology. They have threatened us." A wave of fear moved through the crowd. Parents pulled children closer. Friends held hands. "The Dominion will come tomorrow," Jin continued. "They are more powerful than us. Their weapons are beyond anything we have." "So we just give up?" someone shouted from the crowd. Jin shook his head. "We have 3 choices. We can fight and probably die. We can cooperate and hope they let us live. Or we can try to escape." Tay stood up. "Escape to where? Our shuttles can't go far enough to reach another system." "The 4th moon," Jin suggested. "It has air we can breathe. We could hide some people there." Arguments broke out across the room. Some wanted to fight. Others wanted to run. Most just looked scared. Minji stepped forward. "We don't have time to argue. The aliens come tomorrow. We need a plan now." Jin raised his hands for quiet. "Here's what we'll do. We prepare to cooperate, but we also prepare to resist if needed. Minji, select your best security people. Arm them with whatever we have. Doyeon, what's our shuttle status?" The engineer stood up. "Both shuttles can fly. They can carry 50 people each, with minimal supplies." "Prep them for launch," Jin ordered. "If things go badly, we'll evacuate as many children as we can." "And the rest of us?" Tay asked. Jin looked across the frightened faces of his people. These were miners and farmers and teachers, not soldiers. But they were also survivors who had lived for years on this harsh world. "The rest of us will do what humans have always done," Jin said firmly. "We'll adapt. We'll survive. And someday, we'll be free again." The next morning, the Dominion ships landed inside the colony walls. 20 aliens with their strange weapons spread through the settlement. They began taking samples of everything. Plants from the farms, metals from the workshops, data from the computers. Jin and the colony council watched from the main control room. "They're downloading our database," June reported, watching a screen that showed system activity. "Taking everything, our science, our maps, our history." "Let them," Jin said. "For now." The aliens worked with cold efficiency. They showed no interest in the humans except to push them aside when they were in the... They spoke only to give orders. By evening, they had set up a base in what had been the colony's storage area. They brought in strange machines that hummed day and night. More ships arrived, carrying mining equipment that the aliens set up outside the colony walls. 3 days after they arrived, the aliens called Jin to their base. The leader, the same one that had met them at the first landing, waited inside. "Your people cooperate well," the translator said after the alien spoke. "This is good. Those who cooperate live longer." "How long will you stay here?" Jin asked. "Until all useful materials are collected. Perhaps 1 of your years, perhaps 2. And then?" The alien's skin rippled with colors. "Then we take what we have learned to other human colonies. Your species has spread to many systems. All will join the Dominion." Jin tried to hide his shock. The aliens knew about other human colonies? Were they attacking Earth too? "What can we do to make this easier for everyone?" Jin asked carefully. "Continue to cooperate. Teach us about human technology. Show us how your machines work." Jin nodded. "We can do that." As he turned to leave, the alien made one more statement. "Your emergency signal has been disabled. No one will come for you now." Jin walked slowly back to the control center, thinking about the alien's words. "No one will come for you." The aliens believed humans would not help each other, that Earth had abandoned this colony and would not try to save it. Maybe they were right about Earth forgetting them. But Jin knew something the aliens didn't. Humans never gave up. Not on their homes, not on their freedom, and not on each other. That night, Jin met secretly with Minji, Tai, Hana, Jun, and Doyun in his private quarters. "We need to plan," he whispered. "Not to fight now, but to be ready when the time comes." "How will we know when that is?" Tai asked. Jin looked out the window at the alien ships outlined against the night sky. "We'll know," he said. "Until then, we watch. We learn. And we remember that we're not just colonists anymore." "What are we then?" Hana asked. Jin's face was hard in the dim light. "We're the resistance." 2 months passed. The Dominion aliens took over more and more of the colony. They built huge machines that dug deep into the planet. They took food from the farms. They made humans work for them, carrying heavy loads and fixing their equipment. Jin watched it all with growing anger. Every night he met with his secret group. They called themselves the Hope Team. There were 6 of them: Jin, Minji, Tai, Hana, Jun, and Doyun. They met in different places each time to avoid being caught. "The aliens have taken our medical supplies now," Minji reported during their meeting in an old storage room. "People are getting sick, and we can't help them." "We need to do something soon," Tai said. His face was thin from not eating enough. "The aliens took the best food, leaving little for the humans. If we wait too long, we'll be too weak to fight." "Fight with what?" Doyun asked. The young engineer looked tired. The aliens made him work 16 hours a day, explaining human machines to them. "Their personal shields can stop our strongest weapons." Jin rubbed his eyes. He was tired too. The aliens made him walk through the colony every day, telling people to work harder. "There must be something we can use against them. Hana, have you found any weaknesses?" Hana had been studying the aliens secretly. "They don't like the cold. When we had that cold snap last week, they move slower, and they need more oxygen than we do. That's why they keep the air systems running at higher levels." "Cold and lack of oxygen," Jin said thoughtfully. "Could we use that?" Before anyone could answer, Jun's small computer made a soft beeping sound. He looked at it, then up at the others with wide eyes. "Something just entered orbit," he whispered. "Something big." Everyone froze. More Dominion ships would be the end of any hope. Minji pulled out her own device that was connected to the defense grid sensors. It's not Dominion, different shape, and it's huge, even bigger than the Dominion mothership." The room filled with whispered questions until Jin raised his hand for quiet. "Is it moving toward the Dominion ship?" he asked. Jun nodded. "Yes, and wait. Energy readings are increasing on both vessels." For the next hour, they huddled around the small screens, watching in amazement as a space battle happened high above them. The new ship moved fast despite its size. It shot powerful weapons that cut through the Dominion ship's shields. The Dominion forces on the ground are getting on their ships, Minji reported, looking out a small window at the aliens rushing to their craft. They're leaving. 20 minutes later, the sensors showed the Dominion ship leaving orbit, flying, away from the planet with damage to its hull. They ran away, Doyun said in disbelief. Before they could celebrate, Jun's computer beeped again. The new ship is coming down to the planet. Several smaller ships are leaving it. Jin stood up straight. Whatever or whoever they are, they just drove off the Dominion. Let's hope they're friendly. They hurried to the colony's main entrance. Many colonists were already there looking up at the sky. The first of the new ships was landing outside the colony walls. It was different from the Dominion ships. It was gray and blocky, with visible weapons on its sides. The ship's door opened slowly. Jin held his breath, not knowing what new alien form might come out. A figure appeared in the doorway, backlit by the ship's inside lights. It stepped forward into the sunlight and everyone gasped. It was human. Wearing advanced armor covered with patches and symbols no one recognized, but definitely human. The figure took off its helmet, showing the face of a woman maybe 40 years, old with short hair and a scar across her right cheek. She looked at the colony, then smiled. Epsilon Eridani Colony? She called out in a clear voice. I'm Captain Sue Park of the Earth Defense Force. Sorry we're late. The colony erupted in cheers and cries. People pushed forward, wanting to touch the soldiers, to make sure they were real. Jin moved through the crowd, Minji and the others close. Behind him, Captain Park met them at the bottom of her ship's ramp. More soldiers were coming out now, all in the same advanced armor. You're from Earth? Jin asked, his voice shaking. We've been trying to contact Earth for 15 months. Captain Park nodded. We know. It's a long story. Can we talk somewhere private? Jin led her and two other officers to the colony's meeting room. Along the way, people reached out to touch the Earth soldiers, as if making sure they were real. Children followed, wide-eyed and curious. In the meeting room, Jin and his team sat across from Captain Park and her officers. First, let me say this, Park began. What you've done here, surviving, keeping your people alive against the Dominion, it's impressive. Earth is proud of you. Earth knows about the Dominion? Minji asked. One of Park's officers, a tall man, named Hoon, nodded grimly. We know them well. We've been fighting them for years. Years? Jin was confused. But they only arrived here 2 months ago. Captain Park's face grew serious. Jin, what I'm about to tell you will be hard to understand. You said you lost contact with Earth 15 months ago, right? Jin nodded. For us, it's been 11 years. The room fell silent. Jin tried to process this. That's not possible. It's the physics of space travel, explained the other officer, a woman named Hyeri. We've been pushing our engines beyond safe limits to reach you. It creates time dilation. 11 years, Tay whispered. Has Earth been fighting the Dominion all this time? Captain Park nodded. The Dominion and others. When humans began building colonies on other worlds, we caught the attention of several alien species. Not all of them were friendly. She activated a small device on her wrist. It projected a 3D map of the galaxy. Earth was marked with a blue dot, surrounded by red dots that represented alien ships. Earth was not ready for first contact. She continued. We had no unified military, no real space defenses, and technology that was laughable by galactic standards. The display showed Earth surrounded by enemy forces. But humans had one advantage, she said, her voice filled with pride. We adapt. When pushed to the edge, we change. We evolve. The display shifted, showing Earth's defenses pushing back the alien fleets. When the first alien ships attacked, Earth's nations finally united. Within 3 years, we had taken alien technology and made it our own. Within 5, we had improved it. Now we're finding all the lost colonies one by one. Jin looked at his friends, seeing hope on their faces for the first time in months. And the Dominion? Minji asked. Captain Park's expression hardened. They're bullies who attack isolated worlds. They never faced a species that fights back as hard as humans. We've pushed them far away from Earth. Why did it take 11 years to reach us? Tay asked. A shadow crossed Park's face. Some colonies were in more danger. Others were closer. And some... She didn't finish, but Jin understood. Some colonies hadn't survived long enough to be rescued. What happens now? He asked. That's up to you, Park replied. We can take you to Earth or to other colonies, or we can help you make this one stronger. She pointed to the windows where Earth soldiers were already setting up defense systems around the colony. Space is more dangerous than we thought, but humanity has made a name for itself out there now. The Dominion thought they found an easy target here, a forgotten outpost of a weak species. She smiled. They were wrong. Jin looked at his people. They had survived being abandoned. They had survived the Dominion. They had survived on this harsh world. We stay, he decided, looking to his friends who nodded in agreement. This is our home now. We just need the means to defend it. Captain, Park nodded. I thought you might say that. My engineers are already upgrading your systems. Before we leave, you'll have defenses, communications, power, everything up to Earth standards. Jin could hardly believe what was happening. In one day they had gone from slaves to free people again, from abandoned to found. Captain, he said quietly, the Dominion told us no one would come for us, that we were alone. Captain Park put her hand on his shoulder. They were wrong about that too, she said. Humans always come for their own. It just took us a while to get here. 2 weeks after the Earth ships arrived, the colony of New Sol looked very different. Earth soldiers and engineers worked everywhere. They built defense towers around the walls. They fixed the old systems and added new ones. They brought medicines, food, and tools. Jin stood on the colony's highest point with Captain Park, watching the activity below. Earth shuttles flew back and forth, bringing supplies from the big ship in orbit. It's amazing, Jin said. Just weeks ago we thought we were forgotten. Captain Park smiled. Earth never forgot you. We just couldn't reach you. When the Dominion attacked Earth 11 years ago, they destroyed our communication networks first. We lost contact with 17 colonies, including yours. What happened then? Jin asked. War happened, Park said simply. The worst war in human history, but also the first war where all of Earth fought together. She pointed to the Earth soldiers, below. They came from many countries, many races, but all wore the same uniform. Before the aliens came, Earth was divided. Nations fought each other. Resources were wasted. After the first attack, that changed. We had to unite or die. Jin nodded. And now? Is Earth safe? Safer, Park said. We built a defense network around the solar system. We have fleets patrolling, nearby stars. And we're finding our lost colonies one by one. An Earth engineer approached them. Captain, we've finished the shield generator, ready for testing. Park nodded. Proceed, Hyun. The engineer spoke into her communicator. Moments later, a slight humming filled the air. A shimmer appeared above the colony, like heat waves on a hot day. Then it was gone, invisible but still there, a protective shield covering the entire settlement. That shield can stop any Dominion weapon, Park explained to Jin. They won't take this colony again. That evening, Jin called a meeting of all colonists in the main dome. The room was packed with people eager to hear what would happen next. Earth soldiers stood along the walls, their advanced armor making them look like visitors from the future. Jin stood on the stage with Captain Park and her officers. He looked out at his people, tired and thin from the Dominion occupation, but with hope in their eyes again. Friends, Jin began. 2 weeks ago, Earth came back to us. Captain Park and her soldiers drove away the Dominion and have been helping us rebuild. Now we must decide our future. He gestured to Captain Park, who stepped forward. Earth has changed since you lost contact, she said. We had to change to survive. The galaxy is not the peaceful place we once thought, but humans have earned respect out there now. She activated a holographic display showing a map of nearby star systems. You have 3 choices, she continued. First, you can return to Earth. We have room on our ships for everyone and all your important possessions." Some people nodded. After years on this harsh world, many longed for Earth. Second, you can relocate to another colony. Some are on much better planets than this one. Places with good soil, mild weather, abundant resources. More nods. A better colony world was tempting. Or third, you can stay here. If you choose to stay, we'll leave a defense force to train your people. We'll upgrade your systems and help you build ships of your own. This colony will become a fortress world, helping to defend human space. The room erupted in talk as people discussed the options. Jin raised his hands for quiet. "This is an important decision," he said. "We will vote tomorrow. Tonight, think about what you want for your future and your children's future." After the meeting, Jin gathered with his friends, Minji, Tai, Hana, Jun, and Doyun. They sat in Jin's quarters, drinking real coffee brought from Earth. "What do you think people will choose?" Tai asked. "Many will want to leave," Minji said. "This world has been hard on us even before the Dominion came." "But it's our home now," Hana argued. "We've put down roots here." Jin looked at each of his friends. "Whatever the colony decides, what will you do?" One by one, they answered. "I'm staying," Minji said firmly. "Someone needs to lead the defense force." "I'll stay too," Doyun said. "I want to learn how to build starships." "I need to see what plants are growing on other worlds," Tai said. "I'll go to another colony, but I'll come back with new seeds." "Earth has advanced so much," Jun said. "I need to study their communication systems, but I'll return." "I'm going to Earth," Hana said. "Just for a year, to learn about all the alien species they've encountered. Then I'll come back and teach others." They all looked at Jin. "And you?" Minji asked. Jin smiled. "Where else would I go? This is my home." The next day, the colony voted. To everyone's surprise, over 80% chose to stay. Despite the harsh conditions, New Seoul was their home. With Earth's help, they could make it better. Captain Park met with Jin after the vote. "I'm impressed," she said. "Most lost colonies choose to leave." "We're stubborn," Jin replied. "And we've survived here too long to give up now." "Good. Stubborn is what humanity needs right now." She handed him a small device. "This contains all of Earth's current technology, defense systems, medicine, agriculture, energy production. Study it. Improve it. Each colony is developing its own specialties now." Jin took it carefully. "And when the Dominion returns?" "They will," Park said seriously. "But not alone. And neither will you." She pointed to a group of her soldiers who were removing their gear from the ships. 30 of my best people are staying to train your defense force. In 6 months, the first supply ship will arrive. In 1 year, your shipyard will be complete and you can start building your own vessels." Jin could hardly believe how much had changed. Just 2 weeks ago, they had been slaves to alien masters. Now they were preparing to build starships. "I forget," Park said. "We found this in the Dominion base." She handed Jin a small, clear container. Inside was a piece of metal with strange markings. "It's part of their communication system. Your engineers might find it interesting." Jin thanked her. Even a small piece of alien technology could help them advance. 3 days later, it was time for the Earth fleet to leave. Most would return to Earth or head to other colonies. Some would continue hunting Dominion ships. The entire colony gathered to say goodbye. Children gave flowers to the soldiers. People hugged and cried and promised to stay in touch. Captain Park stood with Jin at the bottom of her ship's ramp. "Remember," she said, "you're not just a colony anymore. You're a fortress of humanity on the edge of explored space. The Dominion and others like them had a saying about Earth when they first found us. They are alone. No one will come for them." She looked out at the colony that had survived against all odds. "They were wrong about that," she said. "We always come for our own." Jin watched as the Earth ships rose into the sky, growing smaller until they were just points of light among the stars. But this time he didn't feel abandoned. Earth knew where they were. Earth would return, and in the meantime the colony had work to do. That night Jin stood on the wall of New Seoul looking up at the stars. Once those stars had seemed cold and distant, home to alien threats that saw humans as weak prey. Now Jin saw them differently. Those stars were full of possibilities, and humanity was just beginning to show the galaxy what they could do. The aliens had thought no one would come for this small colony on a harsh world at the edge of human space. They had been wrong, because humans never leave their own behind, not forever. The end.